Hey,
Hello.
everybody, welcome to Yapcast episode number 2. Today we're TheoryPOV. Today we're going to be talking about to what extent is certainty attainable.
Oh wow.
Exactly. You want to start us off with this question?
Okay. So, in my opinion, if I elaborate on this question, certainty, you cannot be 100% certain, because being 100% certain means that to a certain extent you know the future, if that makes sense. Because for example, if you're 100% certain that you're gonna go home today, you cannot be 100% certain. What if you die on the way there? Allah or Allah, like you cannot be 100% certain unless you know the future of what's gonna happen next. That's when you know that you're 100% certain.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
How about you, Mark? What do you want to elaborate further?
So first of all, we have to see what is certainty. Are we ever certain about some stuff? Of course, like in normal day-to-day stuff and day-to-day interactions, you may feel that something is certain. Like if I take a pen and I drop it on the table, it is gonna fall. I'm certain about that. But you can't be certain about everything. For instance, every scientific theory. Sorry?
How do you know that will float?
I mean, unless the planet happens, something happens with our planet, I don't think it will float.
So 99.999% certain.
Yeah, but in day-to-day life, usually you don't think that your pen is just gonna float up.
Fair point.
However, in science, the principle that says that pen will float is basically, again, based on experience and knowledge. However, we can't be certain because all of these are based on some explanations that we found on how to be certain about some stuff. For the pen dropping down, for an apple dropping on Newton, he found an explanation. Are we sure that that explanation is going to be 100% for everything? For now we think so, but are we sure that it's going to stay the same? Are we sure that it's attainable every time? No. There may be a better explanation than Newton's.
Yeah, you're completely right. If you want to be certain about something, you should be able to predict the future. Because nothing is in our hands. That's why we have Islam. But that's another topic we're not going to go into. It's going to be very religious. But the thing is, day-to-day life, there are certain things we are certain that will happen. That the night will come, the sun will rise, that we have security. These things are not certain per se, but they are certain to an extent that we know it's going to happen at a specific point in time. For example, the sun rising and setting. We are certain it's going to happen, but we never know at exactly when it's going to happen and at what time. But we know it's going to happen. We are certain only about aspects of life. Nothing and everything can be certain at once. You understand? Yeah. So let's move on to the next question, a bit longer question this time. What are the implications of having or not having knowledge?
Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a nice question right there.
So what is the usefulness of knowledge and what are the implications of knowledge?
So if you first of all think about how knowledge is useful, that's kind of a self-explanatory question. The reason we're here talking is because we have the knowledge about knowledge.
We have the knowledge on how to make a podcast to some extent. And you're going to gain some experience from this, of course.
Hopefully.
How to operate a camera, that's a different type of knowledge. How to use a laptop. Our producer back there, how we can manage all this stuff.
Mr. Producer, you make the best shows.
These are all different types of knowledge and implications of having it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but what are the implications of not having knowledge?
So not having knowledge, I mean, if you don't have knowledge, most things in life will be much more difficult because you won't have the
facilities.
You won't have the facilities or the mental resources to conduct stuff. Or say, for example, if you don't have the knowledge of operating a Canon E05,
EOS M50 Mark II, 4K display, 20 F5. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Continue on to the question.
Yeah. If you don't have the knowledge of how to use it, it could ruin the camera, but it can also ruin the production of what you filmed.
Yeah, the implication of having knowledge it's not something we can say just because we can do it. That's not how it works. The implication of knowledge allows us to do everything from walking, talking, eating, drinking. Because the thing is, these small things you must understand at a subconscious level how to do it. Like talking, for example, when you were a child, you could barely talk. You could muster maybe a few words, but you would not be able to have a full-scale conversation as we're having. These are things we don't understand, but these are the things we have. It's a knowledge that we have subconsciously.
Another thing I can add to this is that a one person not having knowledge can affect not only him, but the people around him as well. Say for example, I'm gonna go back to the driving example. If you don't know how to drive, you're putting everyone who's driving around you's life at risk because you don't have the knowledge on how to control the car, what the speed limits are, when to brake, how to brake, and you could even injure yourself. Say for example, if you own a manual, if you don't use the clutch correctly, burn out the clutch, boom, your car's ruined. Money's gone out of your wallet like ka-ching, and boom, khalas. Yeah, won't you agree?
We also, I completely agree, and we also have to think of the other side of it. What does it mean not to have knowledge? Like when we say what are the implications of not having knowledge, you can't just not have knowledge about anything. Even if there is some condition that you can't, it's harder for you to gain knowledge in some areas, you can maybe not have any knowledge in something, in one area of knowledge, but overall you're going to have knowledge about something.
Yeah, of course.
You can't just, you're knowledgeable in something at least, even in just surviving. That's one type of knowledge.
Yeah, like in sports reviews, for example, some people are good at other sports where some people are not as good as if worse even at those sports. For example, if we're going to play cricket, everybody knows what cricket is. It's a sport, you play, but some people don't understand the rules and legislation that comes with it. So that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have any knowledge of it, it just means you're not knowledgeable about it. There's a difference between the two.
Yeah.
Example, when I ask Armin to start playing paddle, he's going to ask me what paddle is, how do we play it? And that's not because he's not intelligent, it's just that he doesn't have a knowledgeable understanding of the sport. For example, if you turn to me and say, Omar, code a website, I'll be like, what code? How do you code? I know what it is, but I don't have the knowledge to use it. So we can say not having knowledge doesn't imply that you're not intelligent, it just means you don't have the resources or the ability to do so.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Because, I mean, we are humans. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. If you talk about AI is another topic for another day. But we don't know everything. And but we can know everything. Well, not everything, but we can know
About
stuff.
it.
But we can know about stuff. We can. But there's some stuff we can't be knowledgeable about.
Of course, yeah. Because as we said, knowledge and being knowledgeable is two different understandings. You can understand how a phone works, you can understand there's a camera, you can open it, but how does it exactly work? That is something which you have to be knowledgeable about. So just to recap, as we
So,
said.
and one more question before I'm asking both of you.
Bruh.
I was gonna ask that. Do you guys think that we? What was the question?
Amazing city.
So let's recap.
Recap what I. You two recap what I recap.
Okay. So let's summarize what we said so far. Armin, what are the implications of having knowledge?
Just not having knowledge. I actually don't know how to conclude it because it's a very broad topic. You can't just conclude it in one sentence. Having knowledge, having sufficient knowledge is different from just having knowledge about something. Especially like he said, you can have knowledge about something, but you can also have insufficient knowledge about it. You cannot operate it completely how you would want to do it.
So what did you say? The implication varies about how knowledgeable you're about something?
Yes.
So,
Eureka!
you're okay.
Would you guys think? Do you guys agree with the fact that we get to choose our knowledge? Would you guys agree, or or like
We just learn it.
yeah, what do you say? Do we choose what to learn, or do we just learn?
I mean, it really depends because when we were younger as a child, we didn't develop the conscious enough to distinguish between right and wrong and our autonomy. We can't decide what we do. We just go with the flow, and that's how we learned That's how we learned to walk, to talk. We just absorbed it. But now we have the ability to block out what we don't want to learn. For example, if Armin's going to teach me Java and CS50, I'm just going to start crying. I don't want to learn anything about it. But if I was a toddler, for example, I would look at it, I'll probably absorb the knowledge he's giving me.
So you're saying my 3-year-old sister can understand if Elif
Yeah.
else.
How do you think they learn English, Italian, Arabic? You have kids speaking 3 languages at a young age who are 5 years old.
Bro, I can't understand.
They don't make that's because you're not making observation as much as a child. A newborn baby is going to observe everything around it. It's going to analyze everything
Exactly.
unconsciously. And that's a whole different stuff. When you're conscious about something, you feel tired after a while. But when you're unconsciously working on something like a baby, if we didn't learn a monotone languages by thinking about them, we just learned them. We woke up one day and saw that we can talk. Yeah, it's that unconscious, it's that random. However,
Yeah.
when you get older, you realize that you can decide for yourself, and that creates different pathways, and you will decide which pathway you're going to take. What knowledge am I going to acquire?
So we can say not having knowledge can also be beneficial because kids, they have zero knowledge, and because they have zero knowledge, they're eager to learn. But the older you become, the more experience that comes with it, the more tired you are of learning. Because, as we said, when you're younger, you're eager to learn because you don't know anything. But when you're older, you become more tired, more frustrated, and you have obviously problems, but ignoring that fact, you know to a certain extent what you need to know. So nothing is motivating you to learn. Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Alright.
So now let's conclude
Finally.
this episode right here. Let's gather up the information.
Let's-
link it back to the peel. Let's link it back. GCSE English.
Don't do that again. Okay, Omar, would you like to conclude for us?
I would like to conclude to say that knowledge has different levels of implication. It cannot be just said, what is the implication? There has to be means of it. There must be levels to it. So I believe that having knowledge has its implications, but also not having its knowledge has its own implications. See, this reworded the question around. But honestly speaking, knowing something does not make you understand it. It's completely different. No? What would you say?
Of course.
When you like to conclude, say it, use your L to the peel.
I don't have an L to the peel. You used my L to the peel, but yeah, I mean,
You want
Not
to echo
having
my
one.
point?
Huh?
Would you like to echo the point that you said?
echo.
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 Okay, so
The answer is always in the question, guys.
Yeah.
let's end the episode here. We will see you guys in the next episode, and don't forget to keep talking.
And watching us.
See you next time.
Bye guys.